Comrades, I welcome you back again to this YouTube channel for Prisco Opu. I use this time to greet you all and welcome you once again to another episode of learning, where we are going to look at something very interesting, majorly on what we are calling as information sources. Information sources is what we are majorly going to embark for today. For today is what we are going to talk about. Information sources. Yes, in information sources, an overview of this, we have that these are any materials, can be records, can be documents that will be providing data or knowledge on a particular subject. Any materials, any record, any documents that is providing what we are calling as data on a particular subject, we call that one is the source of that information, which is called information sources. You find that these sources serve as the foundation for research, inquiry, and decision making. You cannot research on anything without the source of information or the content of what you want to put. Therefore, it's a necessity that you should be in position to know, because it cuts across all academics, professionals, and everyday contexts. This may be carrying very many forms of types, or the format and how to access them may be varying depending on the essential needs that you may be in need of doing. This can be classified into three categories. Can be the primary source of information, secondary source of information, and tertiary sources of information, that we are going to see them one by one. But in this video, let's specialize on what we're calling as the primary source of information. What do we mean by this? A primary source is a direct, the first-hand piece of evidence created at the time of events or by someone who directly experienced the phenomenon or that event, is what we're calling as primary source. In general, this is a first-hand information and have some of the notable characteristics that you find you have to know. First of all, it is always originality. These sources are of the first to provide information about a particular event or subject. They are unaltered, direct records that of original thoughts of raw data. That is why we talk about originality. They present information first without anything. This one is also unmediated evidence. There is no interpretation or analysis from another person, because you are always at the scene. You are the source itself and as well the evidence. You can see it's time related, raw data, all those, the characteristic of what we're calling as primary sources. Some of the examples of this you need to know. We have some of the documents, the creative works, the oral histories and interviews, to mention but a few. Just know anything that is first hand and you're always at the scene, remaining unaltered. You're the evidence yourself. Primary source of information straight away. Like historical document, talk about the US Constitution, the treaties, the official records like the census data, you are always there at the scene. Legal documents such as court cases or government legislation, always there at the scene. Personal letters, the autobiographies. You see, we have creative work. A novel can be a poem, can be any artwork created during a particular period. Talk about the Shakespeare's play. All those, they are creative work. We have the scientific data. When you're a scientist carrying out experiments, you have what we're calling original laboratory notes for the field of studies that you can use. That one, there's no evidence. Data sets for surveys or the experiment that have not yet been analyzed or interpreted. Yeah. Finally, what do you think is the purpose of this primary source? The raw evidence using research foundation and insight into its contextual meaning. And role in research is that they are essential in the fields that require what we're calling original data or the first-hand accounts. They are invaluable in qualitative research, especially in history, anthropology, and sociology, where understanding personal experience and direct evidence is paramount. Find that for you to research on something, you have to base your idea and content on the primary word sources that you'll find to test the hypothesis, predicting what will be coming at the end, exploring several angles of analysis, or gaining direct evidence for arguments. These are information sources, majorly primary sources. Next video, we shall be classifying secondary sources. Subscribe to the channel and enjoy more on information literacy or computer skills. Thanks.